Hey there, welcome to Manhood Explained. My name is Camille. Today is 1st of September 2022 and welcome to video number 320. Today I want to talk about men in the dark. I want to talk about how to become a guy who knows what he's doing and where he's going in his life. But before we're going to go there, I just want to say a few words. I said it before that I want to make this channel for Christian men, but now I intentionally want to go there because for the last few months, I guess, when I was not, recording more videos, I really spent time to think about where I want to go with this. And if you're a Christian man, awesome, this is channel for you. But I'm saying that especially for those who are not Christian, who are men but not Christian, or you're woman, whether you're Christian or not, doesn't really matter. Because I know that some of you guys and my friends are watching this video who are not my target audience. If you're here, awesome. If you want to comment, talk to me, brilliant. But if you're just here just to say that you disagree or, you're going to post a comment just to steer the pond, don't be surprised if I'll tell you, you're not a Christian man, what are you doing here? Is that fair? Awesome. So going back to the subject. You see, becoming a human in general brings you to the point that you start to question who you really are, what are you doing here? And being a man has its own moment when you basically ask yourself, what does it really mean to be a man and how to play this game right, to see really the effects, the fruits of me being really, high class or high tier man. And you see, at least for me, there are like 4 pillars of being a man and what does it really mean. First of all, is to be a provider. Second, to be a protector. 3, to be a pioneer, meaning leader. And 4 is being a priest. And each of those is having its own kind of field, this kind of terrain that you have to discover and understand how it all plays out. So you could really play this game right, just because, being a man has like a direct impact on people's lives, meaning your wife, your kids. So that's why something works or doesn't. It's like really engineering way of looking at things. So that's why we need to understand this thing deep enough and being good enough so they would see and really be able to be blessed, sort of speak, with who we are as a man. So looking and starting with the provider, the question is very simple. You can be a provider, meaning that you can make your family stay alive, stay afloat. You can bring paycheck and, everything might be fine. But I want you to ask yourself, when you look at yourself and ask yourself a question, not me, not anybody else, just ask yourself a question. Do you really think that you're a good provider? Which would mean that not only you're able to be able to live paycheck to paycheck, but you'll be able to have something hidden, invested here or there. Because if something would go wrong, you want to be able to still provide. The lockdowns in the last 2 years basically showed how many of guys lost everything just because they had no long-term vision and understanding what's going on in the world. And they could not, they could not deal with it. Some of them killed themselves. Are you a good provider? Second, are you a protector? I said this story at least a few times already in my videos, that I read somewhere that not many men in Christian churches will be able to defend their women. It boiled my blood in my veins. And, I did something about it. But are you? You see, the first world problems right now looks like, to be a strong person is to be in touch with your feelings and, being brave enough to show your vulnerabilities. And I say, sure, this is some kind of strength, but I'm saying when, push comes to shove, I really be able to defend your woman and your kids. Because, 300 kilometers from here, where I am right now, from Poland, Ukrainian guys are, facing their manhood like day to day now. There's so many stories, and they're not the only ones, but it's just, it's so close to me, so that's why I'm talking about it. There were so many stories that, the Russian army were entering the homes, and raped and killed women in front of their men's eyes. What would you do then? Are you even able or capable of defending a woman? Not only emotionally, but physically. So that's why I ask yourself, are you a protector? If I would ask your kids, or even more, your wife, What would he do if I'll try to attack you or someone else would try to attack you? Would you know that he'll defend you? Or you will say, I've got to run away because he never fought anyone in his life, and I would probably have to protect him rather than he would protect me. Are you a protector and a good one? 3. Are you a pioneer? Meaning, are you a leader? Are you someone who is really having a vision? Where are you going? If everything's gonna go well and the world's gonna flourish, what's your plan? If something is gonna go wrong, what's your plan then? What is your leadership skill and how it translates into your family's life? If I would ask your kids, what is your father doing after hours, what would they say? He's coming home and basically doing nothing, watching TV, watching games or sports or playing computer games, or he's having his hobby and we don't see him for hours. It has no impact on our lives. He just has something of his own in his man cave or whatever. He's drinking beer with his friends. We don't know. There's a mother who's taking care of us, and there's a father always absent. You see, being a leader is someone who's basically capable of taking care of your family and leading them, so your family will be saying, listen, last year we did this or that. This year, our father said that he's planning ABC, and it really is happening. We can see the progress, we can see change, we can see that everything changes because he's ambitious, he's having plan, he's leading the whole house. When your kid's gonna go out, how many of them will say, our father was really interesting guy. He showed us this. He pushed us to taste this. He showed us how to be creative in art, from art's perspective, or kinetically in sports. He taught us how to invest, or how to open business, how to have this mindset of how to make money, whatever. Are you a leader? And are you a good one? Are you someone with a long-term vision for yourself and for your family? And 4, are you a priest? See, there's a reason why God put you as a head of a household. Your household, not someone else's, your household. There's a reason why he himself called himself father. Not mother, not someone else, a father. Because he's supposed to be like a role model for you, how you're supposed to deal with your own family. And the beginning of everything is your relationship with your father. And how much of your Christianity, or your being a priest, kind of being a leader in a spirit, is basically going to the church because your wife goes to the church, or she is really wanting to be in that church, so that's why we're there. Or how much we're in that congregation just because it's good for our kids to go to Sunday school or have some Christian friends and kids, right? And how much you are really a leader in a spirit, not only being a provider, protector, and a leader from a spiritual perspective because it translates perfectly, but how much you are a person who is really capable of going to your father, ask him a question when you need to, and get out of the prayer room with an answer, not with a Bible text or some kind of being motivated to do something, but not getting real answer. How is your relationship with your father really relationship that you can ask and get the answer? Have this two-way conversation. How much you are a leader in your spirit, basically being the first one who's getting up in the morning just to talk to your father before the day begins. Or how much you are the one capable of, when everybody's already asleep, you're going to step and spend time before the throne of your father in his war room to talk to him. What are we doing next? What is the goal? What are we doing? Where and how am I supposed to lead my family, and where I'm supposed to go? Because we didn't even touch the subject and talked about your calling. Because you have to understand this to be able to even talk about your calling, which is at the end of the day, your role and your mission here. But you cannot, we cannot talk about calling if you're not good in all of those 4 pillars. Proving yourself with the things which are important, but not really in comparison to your calling, which will basically, kind of have everything included, your family and so on, because it's not something separate. But you know what I mean? Calling is something like a different level of the things that we're talking about. And you see, This four, being a provider, protector, pioneer, meaning leader, and a priest, that's the beginning of everything. That's what does it mean to be a man. You need to understand it, understand how that applies to me, what I'm supposed to do, what are the things that I'm really good at, and what are the things that I'm supposed to really do something about it because I'm not good enough. And one thing that I want to kind of add to that, if you look at how our society is built, is first of all, you are born by your mother, and she's taking care of you for years. Then you go into the school, and then who's teaching you? Most of the teachers in your school are women. And it's not good. It's bad. It's not bad. It's good. But you know what I'm saying? It's like women are taking care of you again. And then, especially in a Western society, you're becoming a young guy, and most of the things that are having so much impact on our lives right now, especially in Western society, is feminism. It's basically again this very emotional and very feminine way of thinking, and even worse because many women are going against feminism right now, which is really interesting to observe. That feminism went too far because it basically teaches hate against men. And that's why I want to understand that there's a huge influence of women-ish on your view on your manhood and your life. And that's why I want to I want you to ask yourself a question. Why would you ask someone to teach you how to be a provider if they're the person that you're supposed to provide to? Why would you ask how to be a protector someone who is the person that you're supposed to protect? Why would you ask how to be a leader someone who's supposed to be led by you? Why would you even think about asking how to be a priest someone who you're supposed to be a priest to? You know what I'm saying? It's not that they can't. It's not that you cannot learn anything from it. It's just you've got to understand there's some things that they will never know. Because if you look even this example of initiation I talked about in one of my videos, boys were basically living in their families, and mothers and women basically were taking care of them. The whole village basically were taking care of you. But then this little boy was taken out, age of 6 or 7 or something like this. He went through like a traumatic experience, tried to even survive because some of them didn't. And when he proved himself to be a man, the group of men basically took him out, and he never went back to his woman, to the mother, and all this basically women in this society. He basically became a man, and he from this day on he sit with other men to learn from more experienced men how to be a provider, protector, leader, and in many of those cases priests as well. So that's why I'm not against women. I'm just saying there are things that you need to learn from men. And that's why if you really want to get answers, understand that you need to go to the real good source to understand what does it mean and how you're supposed to play those 4 roles that you're called to play as a man, especially as a Christian man. So that's why find a man who is good and teaching you how to be a provider, how to proceed with your career, how to open a business, or how to invest, or how to save, so you'll be able to really be a good provider no matter what happens in the world. Last 2 years taught us this lesson, or at least supposed to. Second, learn how to be a protector. Learn someone who's really capable and experienced in and emotional and physical kind of manhood, because this is something that is our domain. Physicality, and even this ability to control your violence. 3, learn how to be a leader. There's tons of people who really teach how to be a leader. Find someone, especially in a Christian groups, how to be a leader, because being a priest again as well. Point number 4, it will require someone who's really experienced to tell you what does it mean to be a priest. What does it mean to really have this relationship with your God deep enough that you really would be able to get answers when you need them. Have this relationship was really two-way communication channel open. and to really be a leader in a spiritual sense. See, this is what I want you to take from this video. If I'm seeing the world as it is, and if my sources are correct, many of us might find out what does it really mean to be a man, because the world will test it soon enough. And there are 4 pillars that you really need to think through and become really efficient in it. So that's why I want you to really ask yourself a question and make a plan what to do to be a better provider with a long-term vision, being a better protector, knowing physically and being strong and bold enough to do something if you need to. 3, how to be a leader with the vision, no matter what happens, where I'm going to lead and how it's going to have impact on my family. 4, how to be a priest, someone who is really in a so close relationship with your Father that you really can lead in a spirit, being kind of open to the calling that we didn't even talk about, because this is a completely different thing. You need to have this 4 already covered to be able to talk about your calling. So think about it and do something about it, because you don't have to do anything to be a boy. You're born as a boy, but you choose to be a man. If you like this video, like, share, comment. If you didn't, comment as well, share it as well. Tell me what you think, what is your experience. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, just give me a shout. I'll be glad to talk about it for you. That being said, see you in the next video.